It's time for something a little controversial. Get some coffee. Yeah, so here's the thing. I shoot crop sensor and I like it. I have no desire to own a full frame sensor camera. None whatsoever. More importantly, I feed my family doing this. So let's talk about some reasons why crop sensor or APS-C is better than full frame.
So only just now did it occur to me that it might be helpful to explain what crop sensor versus full frame is. When digital photography first came out, the sensors were not the same size as the 35 millimeter film frames that everybody was used to. So for the longest time, they were actually the sensors were the size of APS film frames, which are about 2/3 the size of 35 millimeter. And then as digital photography matured, they released cameras that had sensors that were the same size as a 35 millimeter frame. So the difference is a smaller sensor versus a slightly large sensor.
So first thing, full frame sensor cameras, APS-C sensor cameras, or crop sensor, whatever you want to call it, 4/3 sensor cameras, they're all tools, and different tools are better at different things. It's important to remember that. So from where I'm sitting, the two major advantages that a full frame camera has over crop sensor cameras are that there is a shallower depth of field, because you get shallower depth of field with a larger sensor, and they offer higher resolution if you get a higher resolution full frame camera, although lots of full frame cameras are shooting somewhere between 20 and 24 megapixels, just like my crop sensor cameras do. So that's the major benefits to those. And they mean almost nothing to me. The work that I feed my family with is almost entirely online. I don't need super high resolution. My main day job, I do real estate photography. When I deliver files to my clients, I actually don't deliver the full resolution unless they ask for full resolution, because their little laptops can't handle the larger files, and they don't need the larger files to get the listing up online. I can print really big prints of my nature work just fine. I've never had a problem with it. There's a lot of stuff that goes into the resolution you print at. Tony Northrup had a really good breakdown of this. You just simply don't need the resolution that the high resolution full frame cameras offer. Maybe you do, I don't. Maybe you like it. I don't need it, I don't care. Also, I don't go for the super blown out background that you get with like a lot of natural light family photographer type photographers. Love what they do. They make good work. That's just not my style. That's just not what I do. So I don't need that super narrow depth of field, that blown out blurry background. And when I do want to do that, I just accomplish it other ways, because I can also just put on a longer lens and get that just fine. Here's a shot with 135 millimeter with my daughter. Really nice blurry background in that same type of blurry background, natural light feel that a lot of family photographers do. So yeah, I don't need the depth of field advantage it offers either. And in fact, sometimes I want a very deep depth of field. I do a lot of landscape. I do a lot of nature, real estate. You don't want part of your photo out of focus. So yeah, the depth of field is not a thing for me. So the third advantage that full frame offers that is better in low light, but well, it's not better in low light, it's better at high ISOs. But I don't shoot that often in low light. When I do, I'm doing long exposures on a tripod anyways, And when I do have to bump the ISO up, man, this is the 21st century. We're well into the 21st century. There's software for that. Topaz Labs Denoise AI, it'll just knock that noise out fast. So I don't even worry about it anymore, which, you know, whatever. So the two advantages that full frame offers are irrelevant to me. I don't need them. I don't want them. And then there's some unique advantages to a crop sensor. For one, the lenses are smaller and lighter for crop sensor than for full frame. The 24 to 70 for a full frame and the 17 to 50 for, which I have a video about, by the way, the Sigma 17 to 50 is a great crop sensor lens, are roughly equivalent as far as field of view. And yeah, the 17 to 50 is in fact, I'm gonna put right here, I don't know offhand the size differences, but check it out. It's easier to carry more stuff, or it's easier to carry less stuff. I don't know how to say that, but it's lighter, it's smaller. Another advantage APS-C has, it's what I started digital photography with. So when digital cameras first came out, they were all crop sensor. That's when my first job was on a crop sensor camera. It was with a Nikon D1H, which is crop sensor and like 3 megapixels. But it was just crop. So when I think about an image, just because that's what I learned on, I think about an image shot on a crop sensor. So why would I completely upend what I know? And then finally, and most importantly, it is less than half as expensive as full frame. So here's what that 2470 costs. Here's what my 17 to 50 costs. Here's what a D850 costs. Here's what my D500 costs. I do this for a living. I'm running a business. When you're looking at factors of 2 or 3 times as much for an advantage that doesn't matter to the work I do anyways, yeah, I can't justify that expense. Feature for feature, save resolution. The D500 has every feature that the D850 has, except it's a crop sensor and it's half the resolution. But also, we already talked about how those things don't matter to me in the kind of work that I do. So when I've got food to put on my family's table, I'm not going to go spend a lot of extra money on gear that doesn't give me the advantage to justify that much money. So there you have it. I prefer crop sensor. I'm a full-time working photographer. I feed my family this way. You don't need a full frame camera. You just don't. So hope that helps you. I hope that encourages you. I hope saves you some money. If it does, check out my affiliate links down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope this has been helpful. If you want to tell me what an idiot I am and how I don't have no idea what I'm talking about, leave a comment down below. If you have any questions, leave a comment. My New Year's resolution has been to answer all my YouTube comments. That's the only one. So there you go. God bless you. Thank you. And we'll see you next time. Bye.